The Quiet Watchers, the stars held secrets that only Commander Sarah Chun knew how to read. She stood before the massive holographic display in the command center of Station Omega, a facility that officially did not exist. Hidden in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, the station had been Earth's most guarded secret for the past 2 decades. Sarah's fingers danced across the control interface as streams of data flowed across multiple screens. At 38, she had dedicated her entire adult life to a single mission: watching the Watchers. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical ponytail, and her brown eyes reflected the blue glow of the tactical displays. Every line on her face told the story of sleepless nights spent monitoring alien communications across the galaxy. Facility around her hummed with quiet activity. Dozens of technicians and analysts worked at their stations, processing information that would reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. The walls were lined with servers containing 20 years of intercepted alien transmissions, decoded languages, and reverse-engineered technology specifications. Dr. Marcus Rivera approached from across the command floor, his lab coat slightly wrinkled from another 16-hour research session. At 45, Marcus had become humanity's foremost expert on alien technology, though no alien knew his name or even suspected his existence. His graying beard and tired eyes spoke of countless nights spent taking apart alien devices and putting them back together in ways their original creators never imagined. "Sarah, you need to see this," Marcus said, his voice carrying an urgency that made her stomach tighten. In 20 years of working together, she had rarely heard that tone from him. "Show me," Sarah replied, following him to a secure briefing room where the walls immediately activated privacy shields. The room's holographic projector came to life, displaying a 3-dimensional map of local space. "Our deep space monitoring network picked this up 6 hours ago," Marcus explained, manipulating the display to show a region near the Proxima Centauri system. "The Korthic Empire is mobilizing a massive fleet. We're talking about 1,200 ships, including their heaviest battlecruisers." Sarah studied the tactical display with growing concern. The Korthic were a warrior race of crystalline beings who had carved out a significant portion of the galaxy through conquest. Their ships were elegant but deadly, powered by fusion cores that could burn for centuries, and armed with plasma weapons that could crack planets. "Destination?" Sarah asked, though she suspected she already knew the answer. "Sol system," Marcus confirmed grimly. "They're not even trying to hide it. Our translation algorithms intercepted their command communications. They're calling it Operation Harvest Moon. A plan to subjugate Earth and use it as a staging ground for further expansion into the spiral." "Arm." Sarah felt a cold anger building in her chest. For 20 years, Earth had carefully maintained the illusion of being a young, primitive world just beginning to explore space. It had been a delicate balance, revealing just enough technology to seem interesting but not enough to appear threatening. The deception had begun with humanity's first contact with alien civilizations in 2157, when the Altarian exploration ship had encountered Earth's basic lunar colonies. The aliens had been amused by what they saw as a species taking its first tentative steps into the void. They had shared some basic scientific principles and moved on, reporting Earth as a developing world in their star charts. What the Altarians had not known was that Earth's governments had been preparing for that contact for decades. Every human facility the aliens had been allowed to see was carefully staged. The real lunar bases, with their advanced manufacturing centers and quantum research laboratories, remained hidden on the far side of the moon. "The Korthic think we're easy prey," Sarah said, her voice cold with determination. "They've reviewed the old Altarian reports and decided we're ripe for conquest. A young species with basic space travel and simple energy weapons. If only they knew," Marcus replied with a grim smile. He activated another section of the display, showing Earth's true defensive capabilities. 23 years of studying their technology, improving it, and building our own versions. They're about to get the surprise of their lives. The display showed Earth's real space infrastructure, hidden manufacturing facilities in the asteroid belt, cloaked orbital platforms around every planet in the solar system. Most impressive of all, a fleet of stealth warships that existed in a state of quantum uncertainty, invisible to any known detection method. Lieutenant Zira Okafor entered the briefing room, her communication headset still active. At 29, she was the youngest member of the senior staff, but her talent for languages had made her invaluable. She could speak 17 different alien languages fluently and had personally deciphered the communication protocols of 6 different species. "Commander, I've been monitoring Korthic military channels," Zara reported, her Nigerian accent adding a musical quality to her precise words. "They're not just planning invasion. They're planning complete cultural assimilation. They want to strip mine our art, our music, our literature. They see Earth as a primitive treasure house." Sarah's jaw tightened. The Korthic were not content with simple conquest. They collected cultures like trophies, preserving selected elements while systematically destroying everything else. Entire species had vanished into their empire, leaving only museum exhibits behind. "How long until they arrive?" Sarah asked. "Based on their current speed and trajectory, 48 hours, Marcus replied. "They're using standard faster-than-light drives, nothing fancy. They don't expect resistance, so they're not even bothering with stealth approaches." Sarah activated her command communicator, opening a secure channel to Captain Jake Thompson aboard the reconnaissance ship Nightfall. Jake was currently positioned near the edge of the solar system, monitoring the approaching alien fleet with sensors the Korthic could not detect. "Jake, report," Sarah said when his image appeared on the communication screen. Captain Thompson was a lean man in his early 40s, with sharp green eyes and prematurely silver hair. He had spent the last decade commanding humanity's most advanced stealth vessel, gathering intelligence on alien activities throughout local space. His ship, the Nightfall, was a masterpiece of human engineering, combining stolen alien technology with human innovation in ways that created capabilities no single alien species possessed. "Commander, the Korthic fleet is maintaining course and speed," Jake reported from his position in the Kuiper Belt. "They're running active scans of the inner system, but they're only seeing what we want them to see. Our holographic projections are working perfectly. They think they're looking at a handful of primitive orbital stations and maybe 50 outdated patrol ships." "Excellent," Sarah replied. "Continue monitoring and prepare for Phase 2. It's time to wake up the Ghost Fleet." The Ghost Fleet was humanity's greatest achievement and most closely guarded secret. Over the past 2 decades, human engineers had taken alien technology from 17 different species and combined it in ways the original creators never imagined. Where the aliens saw finished products, humans saw components that could be mixed, matched, and improved. Asterisk Cortic fusion cores were powerful but inefficient. Human engineers had redesigned them to run at 97% efficiency while producing half the waste heat. Zephyrian stealth fields were effective but limited. Humans had combined them with quantum probability manipulation to create ships that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Talaxian plasma weapons were devastating but slow to charge. Human modifications had tripled their firing rate while reducing their power consumption. The result was a fleet of vessels that outperformed anything in known space. 150 ships that could appear and disappear at will, strike with weapons that bypassed most known defenses, and coordinate their actions through quantum-entangled communication networks. Dr. Rivera brought up another display showing the technological timeline. "Sarah, remember when we first reverse-engineered Korthic shield technology 12 years ago? We thought we were just learning to copy their defensive systems. Now look at what we've built. The display showed human shield generators that not only stopped energy weapons, but actually absorbed and redirected their power. What had started as simple mimicry had evolved into something completely new. Human shields didn't just protect. They learned, adapted, and turned enemy attacks into friendly advantages. The Korthik developed their technology over thousands of years. Marcus continued. They perfected it, refined it, and then stopped innovating. They assume their way is the only way, the best way. They've forgotten that there might be better approaches. That's their weakness, Sarah agreed. They stopped asking, what if, and started assuming they had all the answers. Meanwhile, we've been asking what if about everything they ever built. Asterisk. Zara looked up from her communication station with excitement in her eyes. Commander, I'm intercepting chatter from their fleet. They're actually excited about this mission. They see it as a training exercise for their junior officers. A chance to practice invasion procedures on a helpless target. Sarah smiled grimly. Perfect. Overconfidence is exactly what we need from them. Jake, how are your crew preparations going? The Nightfall is ready for combat operations, Jake replied. My people have been training for this scenario for 5 years. We know every weakness in Korthik ship design, every flaw in their tactical doctrine. More importantly, we know how to exploit the gaps between what they think is possible and what actually is possible. The captain's confidence was well-founded. His ship alone carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon, but it was the way that firepower had been packaged that made it truly dangerous. Human weapons didn't follow the standard rules of space combat. They could fire around corners, phase through solid matter, and strike targets in ways that alien defensive systems were not designed to handle. All stations, this is Commander Chun, Sarah announced over the facility-wide communication system. We are moving to Defense Condition 1. This is not a drill. The Korthik Empire has launched a full invasion fleet, targeting Earth. All personnel are to report to battle stations immediately. The command center transformed as dozens of additional staff members took their positions. Emergency lighting cast everything in red shadows, while tactical displays showed the positions of both the approaching alien fleet and humanity's hidden defensive assets. Marcus returned to his station and began coordinating with research facilities across the solar system. Sarah, all our technology integration projects are showing green status. The new quantum phase torpedoes are loaded and ready. The dimensional displacement cannons have been calibrated. Most importantly, our fleet-wide coordination network is operating at full efficiency. That network was perhaps humanity's greatest advantage. While alien fleets relied on traditional communication methods that could be jammed or intercepted, human ships were connected through quantum entanglement. Every captain, every gunner, every engineer could share information instantaneously across any distance. The human fleet fought not as individual ships, but as a single distributed organism. Zara's station chimed with an incoming priority message. Commander, Admiral Vasquez is requesting immediate communication from Earth Command. Admiral Alana Vasquez appeared on the main screen, her weathered face showing the strain of command. At 62, she was the most experienced space combat officer in human history, having secretly coordinated defensive preparations for the past 15 years. Her silver hair was pulled back severely, and her blue eyes held the cold calculation of someone who had studied every possible way this battle might unfold. Sarah, are you ready to drop the mask? The Admiral asked directly. All systems are prepared, Admiral. The Ghost Fleet is in position. Our defensive platforms are online, and our technology advantages are ready for deployment. The Korthik have no idea what they're walking into. Excellent, Admiral Vasquez replied. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity is not the young, primitive species everyone believes us to be. Send the activation codes to all defensive units. Operation Sunrise begins now. Sarah's fingers moved across her control interface, sending encrypted commands to defensive installations throughout the solar system. On hidden bases scattered across dozens of asteroids and moons, weapons systems that had been dormant for years began to awaken. The Korthic fleet continued its approach, confident in their overwhelming superiority. Their intelligence reports showed Earth as a world with basic space travel, simple energy weapons, and maybe a few dozen outdated patrol ships. They expected to complete their conquest within hours of arrival. They had no idea that they were flying into the most sophisticated trap in galactic history, prepared by a species that had spent 20 years learning everything the galaxy had to teach and then improving on all of it. The real battle was about to begin, and for the first time in their long history of conquest, the Korthic Empire was about to learn what it felt like to be the prey instead of the predator. As Sarah watched the tactical displays update with the positions of Earth's awakening defenses, she allowed herself a cold smile. The Korthic thought they knew humanity's capabilities. They were about to discover just how wrong they were. Asterisk, the hunter becomes prey, Admiral Elena. Vasquez stood on the command deck of the EDF Sovereign, humanity's most advanced battleship, watching the Korthic invasion fleet approach Jupiter's orbit. Through the massive observation windows, space appeared empty and peaceful, but her tactical displays told a different story. 150 human warships hung in quantum stealth around the alien fleet, invisible and deadly, waiting for her signal. The Korthic fleet was impressive by galactic standards. 1,200 vessels arranged in a perfect invasion formation, their crystalline hulls gleaming with bioluminescent patterns that served as both decoration and communication. The largest ships were nearly 2 kilometers long, bristling with plasma cannons and protected by shields that could deflect meteors. It was the kind of force that had conquered 47 worlds without ever losing a single engagement. General Korthic Vex commanded the invasion from his flagship, the Eternal Conquest. His crystalline body pulsed with the deep blue light of confidence as he reviewed the final intelligence reports about his target. The primitive world called Earth possessed basic fusion technology, simple projectile weapons, and a small collection of patrol vessels that would pose no significant threat to his forces. Navigator, Korthic Zek, the general spoke in the harmonic tones of his people, his voice like resonating crystal chambers. Confirm our arrival time at the target world. General, we will reach Earth orbit in 2 hours, Zek replied from his station. Preliminary scans confirmed the intelligence reports. The humans have approximately 50 combat vessels, all using outdated technology. Their orbital installations appear to be basic manufacturing platforms with minimal defensive capabilities. What? The Korthic sensors could not detect with a holographic projections hiding Earth's true defensive network. Advanced camouflage systems made massive weapon platforms appear as simple cargo containers, while powerful battleships masqueraded as civilian transports. Humanity had learned much about deception from studying alien psychology. Admiral Vasquez opened a secure communication channel to Captain Lisa Park, commander of the quantum phase battleship Ghost Strike. Lisa was 34 years old, brilliant, and absolutely ruthless when it came to protecting Earth. Her ship represented the pinnacle of human engineering, capable of existing in multiple dimensions simultaneously and armed with weapons that could strike targets through solid matter. Lisa, status report. The Admiral said quietly. Captain Park's image appeared on the communication screen, her short brown hair perfectly arranged despite the stress of the approaching battle. Behind her, the bridge of the Ghost Strike showed none of the activity one might expect from a warship preparing for combat. Her crew worked with calm efficiency, their movements precise and economical. Admiral, the Ghost Fleet is in perfect position, Lisa reported. We have the Korthic completely surrounded. They still show no awareness of our presence. Their sensor sweeps pass right through us thanks to the quantum displacement fields. Weapon status? All systems are charged and ready. The dimensional torpedoes are loaded with quantum phase warheads. The probability cannons are calibrated for maximum disruption effect. Most importantly, our shield absorption matrices are online and hungry for enemy energy. Admiral Vasquez nodded grimly. Human shield technology had evolved far beyond simple deflection. Modern human shields absorbed incoming energy and converted it directly into additional power for weapons and engines. The harder an enemy attacked, the stronger human ships became. Dr. Marcus. Rivera's voice came over the fleet communication network from his position at Station Omega. Admiral, I'm monitoring Corthic internal communications. Their confidence level is extremely high. They're actually discussing how quickly they can process Earth's population for cultural harvesting. That phrase sent a chill through every human who heard it. Cultural harvesting was the Corthic practice of preserving selected elements of conquered civilizations while systematically destroying everything else. They would keep human art and literature as museum pieces while ensuring that humans themselves became extinct. Dr. Rivera, are you ready to demonstrate our technological improvements? The Admiral asked. All research data has been distributed to fleet weapons systems, Marcus replied. Every ship in our fleet now has access to 23 years of alien technology analysis. We know exactly how Corthic shields work, how their weapons function, and most importantly, how to make all of it work better than they ever imagined. Asterisk. The genius of human technological development lay not in pure invention, but in synthesis and improvement. Where the Corthic had developed plasma weapons that fired in straight lines, humans had learned to make plasma that could bend around obstacles. Where Corthic shields blocked energy from specific directions, humans had created omnidirectional barriers that grew stronger under attack. Captain Jake. Thompson's voice crackled over the communication channel from his position aboard the Nightfall at the edge of the solar system. Admiral, the Corthic fleet has just passed my position. They're maintaining standard approach velocity and showing no awareness of our defensive preparations. I'm tracking their flagship and have confirmed General Corthic Vex is aboard. Understood, Captain. Begin Phase 2 operations. Phase 2 involved revealing just enough of Earth's true capabilities to shock the Corthic without showing them everything humanity could do. It was a delicate balance between demonstration and deception. Around Jupiter's orbit, 50 concealed defense platforms suddenly became visible. They had been there all along, hidden by the same holographic technology that made garbage containers appear to be the extent of Earth's space infrastructure. Now they revealed their true nature as massive weapons platforms bristling with advanced cannons and protected by shields that shimmered with impossible colors. General Corthic Vex felt his crystalline body pulse with surprise as his sensors registered the appearance of the human defensive installations. Navigator Zek explained these readings. Where did these platforms come from? General, our sensors show no indication of how they appeared, Zek replied, his voice harmonics expressing confusion. They were not there during our previous scans, but they are clearly solid and have been in position for some time. Their energy signatures suggest technology more advanced than our intelligence reports indicated. The General's confidence began to waver slightly. Primitive species did not possess holographic camouflage sophisticated enough to fool Corthic sensors. Weapons Officer Corthic Thane analyzed their defensive capabilities. Thane worked frantically at his station before responding. General, I cannot identify their weapon systems. The energy patterns do not match any known technology in our databases. Furthermore, their shields appear to be using some form of multidimensional projection that should not be possible with their reported technological level. What Thane could not know was that human shields combined Corthic crystal matrix technology with Zephyrian dimensional manipulation and Altarian probability mathematics. The result was defensive systems that existed partially in normal space and partially in dimensions where conventional weapons could not reach. Admiral Vasquez decided it was time for the first lesson. All platforms. This is Admiral Vasquez. Demonstrate Protocol Alpha. Show them what human engineering can accomplish. The 50 defense platforms simultaneously fired a coordinated barrage at a small asteroid near the Corthic fleet. What happened next defied everything the aliens thought they knew about weapons technology. Instead of simple energy beams or projectiles, the human weapons fired bursts of controlled probability distortion. That caused the asteroid to spontaneously reorganize its atomic structure. The rock did not explode or melt. Instead, it simply stopped being rock and became something else entirely. The Corthic fleet watched in stunned silence as a mountain-sized asteroid transformed into a perfect sphere of crystallized carbon, its surface reflecting the light of the sun like a massive diamond. "Impossible," whispered General Corthic Vex. "Matter cannot be restructured at the molecular level using energy weapons. The power requirements alone would exceed the output of a star." What the general did not understand was that human weapons did not use brute force. They used precise applications of quantum mechanics to convince matter that it wanted to be something different. It was elegant, efficient, and absolutely terrifying to anyone who understood the implications. Captain Lisa Park received the signal she had been waiting for. "Ghost Fleet, this is Ghost Strike. Execute Revelation Protocol. Let them see what Earth really has." Around the Corthic invasion force, space itself seemed to ripple and distort. Slowly, like predators emerging from tall grass, 150 human warships became visible. They had been there all along, surrounding the alien fleet in a perfect sphere, but their quantum stealth systems had made them invisible to every form of detection the Corthic possessed. The human ships looked nothing like the elegant, crystalline vessels of the Corthic Empire. They were angular and aggressive, their hulls painted the deep black of space itself. Each ship bristled with weapons that seemed to bend light around them, and their engines left trails of distorted space-time that made it difficult to look directly at them. General Corthic Vex felt his entire worldview crumble as he stared at the tactical display. His invasion fleet, which had seen so overwhelming moments before, was now completely surrounded by enemy vessels that appeared to be far more advanced than anything in his experience. "Communications Officer Corthic Prime," he said, his voice harmonics wavering with uncertainty. "Open a channel to the human fleet. Demand an explanation for their deception." Admiral Vasquez's image appeared on the Corthic flagship's main screen. Her weathered face showed no mercy, only cold professional calculation. "General Corthic Vex, I am Admiral Elena Vasquez of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered our solar system with hostile intent, threatening the safety of my people and my world. Asterisk. Your intelligence reports were incorrect," the Admiral continued. "Earth is not a primitive world just learning to explore space. We are a species that has spent the last 23 years studying your technology, improving it, and preparing for exactly this moment." The general's crystalline form pulsed with colors that Dr. Rivera would have recognized as extreme agitation. "This is impossible. Our records clearly show that Earth achieved basic spaceflight only 200 years ago. You cannot have developed technology superior to ours in such a short time. You assume that because we are young, we are inferior," Admiral Vasquez replied calmly. "That assumption is about to cost you everything. We did not develop technology superior to yours, General. We took your technology and made it better. Every crashed ship, every abandoned probe, every piece of alien equipment that found its way to our system became a lesson in how to improve on perfection." Captain Park's voice came over the fleet communication network. "Admiral, the Corthic are attempting to scan our ships. Their sensors are having difficulty analyzing our hull composition and weapon systems. Let them scan. The admiral replied, "It will not help them. Human ships were built using adaptive metamaterials that changed their properties in response to different types of sensor probes. Cortex sensors designed to analyze crystalline structures found only shifting patterns that seemed to mock their attempts at comprehension. Dr. Rivera's excited voice crackled over the communication channel. "Admiral, I'm intercepting Corthic internal communications. They're in complete chaos. Their tactical officers are reporting weapon signatures they cannot identify, shield frequencies that should not exist, and engine readings that violate their understanding of physics. Time for the second lesson," Admiral Vasquez decided. "Captain Park, demonstrate human tactical superiority. Show them what our ships can actually do." The Ghost Strike suddenly vanished from normal space, its quantum phase drive allowing it to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. For several seconds, the Corthic sensors showed nothing where the massive battleship had been. Then it reappeared inside the formation of Corthic vessels, occupying the same space as 3 enemy ships without causing a collision. The human battleship fired a single quantum phase torpedo that passed through the hulls of all 3 Corthic vessels without damaging them. Instead, the weapon deposited microscopic quantum disruptors throughout their internal systems. The alien ships did not explode or lose power. Instead, their weapon systems began firing randomly while their navigation computers started plotting courses to imaginary destinations. How are they doing this? General Corthic Vex demanded of his science officer. "Ships cannot occupy the same space. Weapons cannot pass through solid matter without causing damage. This violates every law of physics we understand." What the general could not comprehend was that human physics had evolved beyond the limitations that alien species had accepted as absolute. By combining the theoretical frameworks of 17 different alien civilizations, human scientists had discovered possibilities that no single species had ever imagined. The demonstration continued as the entire Ghost Fleet began moving in ways that defied conventional understanding of space combat. Human ships flowed around each other like schools of fish, their quantum drives allowing them to change direction instantaneously without regard for inertia. They appeared and disappeared seemingly at random, always exactly where Corthic defenses were weakest. Lieutenant Zara Okaffer's voice came over the communication channel from Station Omega. "Admiral, I'm monitoring Corthic fleet communications. They're in complete disarray. Many ship commanders are requesting permission to retreat. Some are suggesting that humans have developed time travel technology." Admiral Vasquez allowed herself a small smile. "Time to end this demonstration. All ships, execute superiority protocol. Show them what human weapons can really accomplish when we stop being gentle." What happened next would be remembered in galactic history as the moment when humanity announced its arrival as a major power. Every human ship in the Ghost Fleet fired simultaneously, but instead of targeting the Corthic vessels, they aimed at empty space around the alien formation. The human weapons tore holes in space itself, creating temporary rifts between dimensions. Through these rifts came streams of exotic matter that formed geometric patterns around the Corthic fleet. The patterns were beautiful, like 3-dimensional mandalas made of light and energy, but their message was unmistakable. Humanity possessed the ability to manipulate the fundamental structure of reality itself. General Corthic Vex stared at the display, showing his fleet trapped within cages made of crystallized space-time. His ships were undamaged, but completely immobilized, held in place by forces that his science officers claimed could not exist. "Surrender, General," Admiral Vasquez said over the open communication channel. "Your fleet is completely outmatched. Your technology is obsolete. Your tactical doctrine is centuries out of date. Most importantly, your assumption that young species are weak species has proven fatally incorrect. General's crystalline form flickered with patterns of defeat and resignation. Admiral Vasquez, we surrender. By the eternal crystals of our homeworld, we surrender. How is this possible? How did your species advance so far so quickly? We did not advance quickly, General. We advanced intelligently. While your people perfected their technology and stopped innovating, we kept asking questions. While you assumed your way was the only way, we learned from everyone. While you conquered through force, we grew through curiosity. Dr. Rivera's voice added context over the communication channel. General, your empire has existed for thousands of years, but you have been using essentially the same technology for the last millennium. You stopped asking, what if, and started assuming you had all the answers. Humanity's greatest advantage is that we never stop asking, what if? Captain Park's ship phased back into normal space, directly in front of the Korthic flagship. Admiral, the alien fleet is completely neutralized. Their weapons are offline, their shields are down, and their engines are locked in dimensional restraints. They pose no threat to Earth or any other human installation. Admiral Vasquez nodded with satisfaction. Excellent work, Captain. General Korthic Vex, your invasion fleet will be escorted to a holding area near Pluto, where your people will be treated according to galactic conventions for prisoners of war. However, I want you to understand something very clearly. The Admiral's voice took on a tone of absolute authority. Word of this battle will spread throughout the galaxy. Every species that has underestimated humanity, every empire that has seen Earth as potential prey, every civilization that has dismissed us as young and primitive will learn the truth. Humanity is not weak. We are not primitive. We are not easy prey. We are the species that takes everyone else's best ideas and makes them better. We are the civilization that never stops improving, never stops learning, never stops growing. Most importantly, we are the people who will defend our freedom and our future with every tool at our disposal. General Korthic. Vex's crystalline form pulsed with colors that Dr. Rivera recognized as deep respect mixed with fear. Admiral, I have conquered 47 worlds in my career. I have never encountered a species like yours. You are formidable beyond our wildest calculations. Remember that, General? Admiral Vasquez replied. Remember it well, and make sure your people remember it too. Humanity has been watching the galaxy for decades, learning from everyone, and preparing for the day when we would take our place among the stars. That day has arrived. As the human fleet escorted the captured Korthic vessels away from Earth, signals carrying news of the battle began spreading across the galaxy at faster than light speeds. Within days, every major civilization would know that the young species from the small yellow star had revealed capabilities that challenged the technological supremacy of the oldest empires. Admiral Vasquez returned to her command chair aboard the Sovereign, knowing that this victory was just the beginning. Humanity had announced itself to the galaxy not as supplicants seeking acceptance, but as equals demanding respect. The age of being underestimated was over. Earth had answered the question of its place in the galactic community with a demonstration of power that no one would ever forget. The hunters had become the prey, and humanity had taken its first step toward becoming a force that would reshape the balance of power among the stars.